I'm going to read from Galatians 3, chapter 3, verse 23 through 29. Now, before faith came, we were imprisoned and guarded under the law until faith would be revealed. Therefore, the law was our disciplinarian until Christ came, so that we might be justified by faith. But now that faith has come, we are no longer subject to a disciplinarian. For in Christ Jesus, you are all children of God through faith. As many of you were baptized into Christ have clothed yourself with Christ. There is no longer Jew or Greek. There is no longer slave or free. There is no longer male or female, for all of you are one in Christ Jesus. And if you belong to Christ, then you are Abraham's offspring, heirs according to the promise. I've been sitting here for the past, 30-ish minutes trying to figure out what I wanted to say today. And I will say this, this week again, as many weeks have been this summer, it's tough to find words that do any of it justice. It's tough to put your thoughts and emotions into words. Paul did it there for me a little bit. We are all the same under God. We are all children of God, and we are all heirs to the promise, right? That's what he's saying. It's 57 years today, actually, to the day when Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech in Washington. And I was looking through that, and my initial thought was to read that speech today, just because I think maybe it's something that needs to be said or heard. But then I looked at it, and as I was reading it, I kept going through it. I'm not qualified to do those words justice, and I am not qualified to deliver them and have it mean anything to you, because I just don't share that experience, and I'm not, the words are moving, but I also feel sometimes, I'm getting into a situation these days where I feel sometimes like the words we say are falling on deaf ears, and that's hard. This is hard work, and this is getting, especially when we have weeks like this, and we've had several weeks this summer where things are tough, and people are looking to the church to say something and do something. And we try to have the words, we try to say the right things, we try to give hope and give calm, and we try to kind of put the perspective of the church on the situations in the world. And I will be completely honest with you, it is hard work, because when people look to you to make statements, when people look to you to be the ones who are guiding and leading, sometimes when you keep giving out all that hope, you get tired of doing it, because every day you wake up, something else happens that just is like, well, what did I just say yesterday? Well, I guess it doesn't matter today, because now something new horrible happened, right? When you wake up. So yeah, it's hard. Paul says we're all one. Paul says we're all one under God. There is no Jew nor Greek or male or female, slave or free. There is none of that. We're all together in this. And I was talking with someone yesterday, and we were talking about how this summer has really kind of been beating down your church staff. And not in a bad way. It's the work that we are called to do, but it is this constant thing that just keeps going. And every day we wake up and we have something new we have to address or talk about or look at, and we keep praying. And I wrote a blog this week about how prayers are not instantly answered, and that's not how they were meant to be. And that is true. Prayer is an ongoing thing. It's a spiritual practice that lets you unload your baggage. and it lets you talk to God. And then you have to be silent in prayer and think and see where God is guiding you in those things. So that's why we pray. And so all these things this week, right, are kind of swirling around. And anyway, I was talking to this person yesterday, and she said to me, well, it's got to be hard, right? Like, how do you wake up and keep going every day? I have my job, I plan my curriculum, my lessons, I talk to my students, and my coworkers and colleagues and other pastors and things like that. That's the work part of things. And I told her that I choose to be positive. And this, since the pandemic started, and then all the things with racial injustice going on, and just everything bad that you see on the news, right? Because if you stare at the news, it's pretty much always bad. There is still good out there. And one of my roles is to point out the good and the hope. And I told her, I said, if you focus on what is going on, the major stories every day, you won't want to get out of bed anymore. It'll be hard. It'll be just, you'll lose hope. And so I said, I choose to be positive. I choose to look at the good things in the world, because I can't bear to look at all the bad things in the world all the time. And I know that they're right in your face, and it is hard to not be hopeful. But yeah, you guys, like, I don't have words. Like, I really don't. This is me being completely honest here. This week was rough, and that's all I can say about it. It was rough. I can speak out. We can all speak out. We can be appalled at what we've seen. When a person gets shot in the back, or then buildings burn, both bad things, like, just not, it looks like the world's gone mad, right? And how do you explain that? And how do you cope with that? And how do you deal with that? And that's why I choose to focus on the good. School starts Monday. That's another good example. Nerves and worries and just all kinds of things and emotions going on with school starting Monday here in Grand Forks. And I choose to look at, well, how is it going to be different, but good, right? How are you going to learn differently? What are the fun things you're going to do when you're learning on your computer instead of in the classroom? How are you going to become a better person by tackling this adversity? What innovations can you discover? What creativity can you discover when you are forced to? The church has been forced to discover a lot of creativity since the pandemic started. And as students go into their daily lives again with school, they're going to be forced to become creative and adapt and innovate and pivot. And I think it's going to be good. It's going to develop skills in them that they can use. How do young people becoming, I'm looking at young people that are part of my church, really stepping out and saying things, calling out things that they think are wrong in the world. That's another thing. Despite all the it looks like chaos and unrest and bad things going on, it is forcing some of our younger people to develop feelings on things where they didn't have to before, right? They could shut off the world and just, play video games or look at their phones or read a book or whatever. When it is so upfront and in your face all the time, it's forcing them to, face these things and develop feelings on them and make statements and speak out and become active. So even if it looks horrible, good things are coming out of it. Um, I really think that as we look at this pandemic time and the way it's forced us all to have this new normal in our lives, it is causing us to change and grow in ways that maybe we don't see yet, and maybe we won't see until after it's done. So yeah, that's the positive, right? You know, people can, oh, 2020 can be over. Oh, 2020 is the worst year ever. I don't think 2020 is the worst year ever. I think 2020 is an active year. I think 2020 is a year where God is showing us who we really are. I think 2020 is a year where God is showing us that we are stronger than we thought. And I think 2020 is a year that God is showing us that we can adapt and change and develop and grow and come out better on the other end for it. And so that's how I choose to look at things. And I know people don't want to hear that all the time. They just want to be like, everything's bad, everything's horrible, and your positivity is driving me nuts. I'm sorry. You know? I'm a positive guy now. I used to not be. I used to be Mr. Negative, and I don't want to be that person anymore. And I haven't been that person for a little while now. And my life, when I look at it, I've got a wonderful wife. I've got a wonderful child. I work for a wonderful church. I have so many wonderful friends and family out there. The work I do is life-giving. The work I do is fulfilling. I'm on a path in a career that speaks to me, that I'm being guided by God to. How can you not be happy when all that is happening, right? No matter how bad the world is, if I look at my immediate situation and where I'm headed and what I'm doing, how can you not be positive? And so my challenge for all of you out there is, when you look at the news and when you look at the world, look for those good stories, look for those things that give you hope, look for those things that give you joy. As I said last week when Jesus was foretelling some prophecies and things, do not let your love grow cold. I love that, because it's like, yeah, the world's going to throw things at you. It's going to stink sometimes. But if we can remain positive, if we can not let our love die out and continue to love each other and care for each other and treat each other well, the world can throw whatever it wants at us, and we're going to survive and come out better for it. So I will have you all pray with me. Dear God, thank you for this world and everybody in it and everything that happens in it, good or bad. Thank you for giving us a place to live and exist and be one as children of God. Help us to not see the barriers between us. Help us to see the similarities, the things that make us the same, the things that bring us joy together, the things that are forcing us to become better people together. Help us not to focus on the negative things we see in the world. Help us to focus on the situations and how they're helping us grow in faith and love and community. Be with all those people who are suffering right now, who don't see the hope, who don't see the good. Let them know that there are people here to help them, to support them, to speak out for them, to walk alongside them. Thank you, Lord, for everything you've given us. Thank you, Lord, for the path you've set us all on. And thank you for, even though it's not the ideal time in the world, using it to shape us, help us grow, learn, change, and innovate. Thank you, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen.